A lot of people are always asking what I would do if I can create my own Ben 10 video game. I've been asked this long enough that I actually have a pretty developed answer, and I think you're gonna like it. So stick around to hear my elaborate answer on how I'd handle a modern Ben 10 video game. But for now, let's jump into the breakdowns. Hey everyone, Kuro the Artist here, and welcome back to another Ben 10 breakdown. One of the biggest changes that Ultimate Alien did for the franchise was make Ben's secret identity public to the people of Earth. And one of the easiest ways to capitalize on fame is merchandising. We'll see Ben go through all the ropes, such as public appearances, sponsored events, and even rip-off live shows. But today, we're gonna explore the time Ben was going to star in his own video game, or at least, so he thought. Joining me today is fellow Ink Tank member Kellen Goff, who chose this episode to guest star in as he's a fan of the episode. Last time we were here, we covered the episode Ken 10, which I'll link below. If this is your first breakdown and you're curious about how my rating system works, there's a detailed description down below, along with a link to all my previous breakdowns, but by all means watch this video first, I'm sure you'll still enjoy it. But on the topic of video games, I have started my Alien Force video game playthrough over on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday at 2 PM EST. The part 1 VOD is already up for the next few days, and make sure that you follow us down there so that you can catch me continue to play through the levels. On May 14th, 2010, we got the episode Video Games, written by Eugene Sun. In an attempt to defame Ben, Will Harang tricks him into scanning all of his aliens through motion capture, with Ben thinking that this is for a video game. In reality, Will is using all of Ben's scanned moves to put together a robot that can counter everything that Ben can do, and challenges him to a fight live on national television. Meanwhile, Gwen struggles to get her driver's license.
I'm a deputized agent of the plumbers. You're breaking your parole.
So was he sent out here to capture Serpent?
What I love about this is that he gives no plumber badge or anything. He's just taking his word for it.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'll believe you. It looks like he's missing his flaps right here.
Do you think his hands are like, they have brains of their own? Kind of looks like they're doing their own thing.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't imagine they did, based off the design, but just seeing him, like, flap around maybe, because imagine just going, look, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feed me, Seymour.
We got the return of forearms here. His transformations, it's all right. Ooh, I like the stringiness.
The splitting of the epidermis, it looks like there.
Yeah. He's only got 4 ribs though.
Oh, it doubles.
Okay, yeah, they made up for it. Yeah, not bad. No flash though, just a jump cut.
Forearms. Forearms.
How do you feel about Ultimate Alien Forearms' design?
It's weird. I don't understand where the gold came from, but I like it. And I like the proportions too. The ponytail is an odd choice.
It grew on me, I'm not gonna lie, but this was definitely like a whiplash from his original series self. And yeah, I used to be bothered that like the Omnitrix would manifest the gold and stuff because it's not like an Omni uniform. Is he D. Bradley Baker here, or is he John DiMaggio? Yeah?
No, definitely D.
That was still in there.
Oh yeah, I hear it.
Nope.
This is D talking to himself again.
I love how he's so strong that his arms don't even budge a little bit when he's pulling. He's able to keep them perfectly still.
And then just brutal!
Yup.
He didn't even know if he would survive that.
He was going for the kill there.
How many tons do you think those cars are?
I think I remember reading somewhere, and I don't know how accurate this is, but like the average car weighs about 3,000 pounds.
He didn't even do anything. He just broke his parole.
The instant death sentence. Also, I feel bad for the people that own these cars. You gotta have your car insured with the plumbers now if you want to survive in Bellwood.
Just a random helicopter he didn't notice coming in the middle of the street.
I wonder if they broke Serpent out to like lure Ben.
I still just find it weird that they didn't hear the helicopter coming and then suddenly it's that close.
Oh, true. Yeah, you can hear a helicopter like hundreds of feet
from
away.
Miles and miles away.
Ben Tennyson.
What is that accent? Who voices this guy?
I'm trying to find it. He's
I say Robin Atkin Downs.
Peter McNichol.
Wasn't he on Mad TV?
He was Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Something mad.
They're going to make you the star of your own video game.
Oh god, that accent is so bad.
I just love that this guy comes down in a helicopter in the middle of a battle to tell you, hey, we're going to do a video game. Like, I have a phone. I have a phone.
Wow, Mr. Smoothie looks so barren right now.
It's the mall crash, man. Malls were popular in the 90s, but now...
You are the worst teacher ever.
What, I try and teach you to drive and now I'm the bad guy?
You know, I just remembered another episode where Ben said that Grandpa Max used to give Ben driving lessons.
You don't have a license. Grandpa Max taught me, and it's an emergency.
How come he didn't give Gwen any?
Wait, is this the part where...
Yeah, this is that scene.
Look, Gwen, you have to treat a car like you treat a woman.
Go on. Ben's like, this is more interesting.
Yeah. I gotta say, I see where Kevin's coming from, because he treats his cars immaculately, but this was very poorly phrased, Kevin.
In the heat of the moment, you just say things you can't state quite right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on Ben's side here.
You can never take that back, Kevin.
Up in the right corner, Gwen will remember this.
Yeah.
Day I get my own video game.
She shielded against it.
How did he make those that fast? Where did he get that smoothie? Did he have that before?
He quickly absorbed some of Accelerate's DNA.
He absorbed Mr. Smoothie and made a smoothie.
That's actually part of his body right now, this straw.
I don't want to know which part.
Spit wads wash out. That gigantic dent you put in my front bumper. Have to go get scanned for my video game. What video game?
Do you notice the weird pauses they have sometimes between the audio? It feels
Yes.
like they take a little too long to respond.
I notice that all the time. Like, I feel like whoever's doing the audio, maybe they space it out that way to give the storyboarders freedom to move lines around in accordance to how they lay out a scene, but a lot of the people in the UAF crew just left it as is.
It's kind of uncanny valley.
It is.
Also, a real sound stage wouldn't have windows everywhere.
Are you ready for your close-up?
Wait, how does he get the mocap suit under the Ultimatrix?
Yeah, I always hate when they do stuff like that, whenever, like, the Omnitrix goes over the clothes.
Maybe he took it off for a second, because I guess he can do that with codes now.
Oh, yeah. The Omnitrix just comes off now.
Platform, handheld, or PC, FPS?
I find it weird that they didn't tell him anything about it before he suited up.
That's true. I'd be asking so many questions. He's just like, let's just do it.
Usually mocap performers get, like, the script at least.
This should be a big sign that this is all fake then.
Before we can make any kind of game, we have to scan your movements into the computer.
Yeah, that's
That is not
works.
how it works. That's not how it works.
Humongousaur!
And the mocap suit, like, changes itself to his aliens as well.
Here comes my favorite line.
Used. One of my balls fell off.
Oh, it's funny because he said balls. He said balls. Okay, enough of that.
I love how he replies too. He's just like
That's okay.
so he's like,
That's okay. We can put balls back on.
realistically that wouldn't be okay either. That would ruin the motion capture.
Try another transformation.
I'm down here.
The balls shrunk
Little
with
guy?
him?
Except for the one that fell off.
The transformation is too small.
Did you get it?
All the stock models of the aliens on screen right here.
Hey, boss, I went onto CartoonNetwork.com and copy-pasted all the pings.
All the gyps.
Jippings.
He's still using the fake accent when he's alone too.
Yes, sir, Mr. Harangue.
Like, why keep doing it at this point?
Am I doing okay?
Wonder what my game will be like.
And then they crash.
Go, go, go!
This is very uninteresting looking.
It reminds me of that Incredibles robot.
At the very least, there could have been, like, patterns on it or something.
Something.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna spontaneously create a little contest. When this breakdown goes up, if you can create a better design of this robot, something that's flexible enough to have all the different weapons to counter Ben's aliens, what would you make it look like? I'll put a little montage in the next breakdown of my favorites, and then the winner will get something. I don't know. I'll think of it.
And Ryan, you can't enter.
Yeah, you can't enter, Ryan. You're banned from this one.
Keep it steady, Gwen.
Okay, those driving maneuvers are really good. Even, like, people who have been driving for years shouldn't be able to do this. Gwen's already a master driver just by that alone.
And keep your hands at the 10 and 2 o'clock position.
She is.
Road work ahead.
Okay. That would have been really cool to put in the racing game.
Have you ever played that one?
No.
I did for, I think, 30 minutes or so, and I never played it again.
Maybe next time you, me, and the tank are together, we should have a tournament.
Yeah, Galactic Racers tournament. Yeah, so does he impulsively call out the names? Because there's been other times where he says the different name. Like now it's being treated like a reflex.
Even when he turns into one for the first time, he calls out the name like he knows what it can do. Has he done that before?
I don't think he's grabbed them off his shoulders. Usually he has seeds. But no, yeah, he just makes seeds come out of his hands. He's never like grabbed it off his shoulders, I don't think.
Yo, he's pissing, dog. Why he pissing everywhere?
I got nothing.
What do you mean you got nothing? You got so many aliens. Just change. Big chill. You haven't tried. He doesn't have jury rig yet.
I would have tried Lodestar just to see what would happen. Because I feel like, you know, there's no counter to Lodestar, right?
Maybe he's still thinking about his video game and he's just...
Yeah, he's just zoning out during this fight.
Innocent bystanders.
Ah, disgusting. I hate people.
Now I have to do my job.
She's going very fast with those steps to keep up.
Mirrors. His worst enemy.
He hates self-reflection and just leaves him there.
Yeah. Oh, Jet Ray's drawn with these little gill things. That makes me want to shove my hands in them.
Don't do that.
Before running away, why did you recall it?
It mistook a minivan for Ben's car.
This is legitimately the exact plot of Transformers 4. They create a Transformer, Galvatron, and then they lose control of it on a freeway.
Which one came out first?
This.
Yes. Transformers, we saw what you did.
We saw what you did, Michael Bay. We know.
His accent's gone too, this guy. Oliver Twister, whatever.
Automatic control settings aren't smart enough.
Let me drive.
Something you need to see.
Exclusive footage of Ben 10's latest rampage.
I feel like John DiMaggio's making Will Harang sound very nasally right here.
He started with it just sounding like any Wolf Blitzer.
The situation with Wolf Blitzer.
Why are you behind in a state which is normally should be pretty democratic at this point?
This carnage is typical of the destruction he leaves everywhere he goes.
I think by Omniverse, he made him more stuck up.
My friends, a month has passed. Our benevolent leaders have banished the traitorous menace Ben Tennyson for good.
I've spent $14 million of my own money to calling you out, Ben 10.
What kind of news anchor gets $14 million in their salary?
Welcome to the early 2000s.
God damn.
But how else could he have gotten that video footage?
See, nowadays everybody has like a camera on their phone, so like you couldn't jump to that conclusion.
Robot Schmobot, don't you have a test to take?
She didn't even know. This is so weird without music, dude.
I know.
Up, Miss Tennyson. I'll be administering your driving test today.
How do you do, my fellow kids? My fellow teenagers?
He's based on stand-up comedian Bob Newhart. He's also voiced by Peter.
You're doing just fine, Miss Tennyson.
He can't blame her for that. He can't take that off of the score.
So since Ben's famous now, does he know who Gwen is? Like, is he aware of her magic and all that?
He doesn't seem like he would be like into that. He just seems like the kind of guy who just plays like Stratego with himself all day.
He just seems very unfazed by all of this.
No, that was good. You signaled before you dodged the laser.
Did she?
No, she didn't. Because there's no signal thingy on her.
Yeah, I don't see no blinker.
She doesn't have a signal lever or a windshield wiper. This car shouldn't be street legal.
Kevin built this car too. You'd think he'd know better. That's a wide street.
I love the idea of having online co-op in my video game.
Why are you holding up the line?
Are you gonna sign my petition or not?
There's no paper on this desk.
They let a petition guy set up outside of a DMV?
Yeah, he's like right out front too. What is this?
That's a government building. This should not be legal.
Oh, I hate this.
Why? Because he's running really fast?
Yes, what is this?
That's Superior Cannon Bolt.
The form right before Ultimate. And he leaps too. Look at that air.
Look at how long his legs are now.
Yeah, no. Cannonbolt has two traits. He can't stand well, and he rolls. And here he is not rolling and running perfectly fine. If I was that guy, I would legit just tuck and roll out of the car at this point. I would be like, fuck this.
Definitely pass her because none of this is her fault and she's doing fantastic.
Yeah, she's like street racing all around these perfectly turned maneuvers and all of that.
And apparently she's still signaling.
Yeah, so yeah, this should be this should be enough.
We're starting a petition, pass Gwen.
Yeah, that's what the guy out front is asking people's signatures for. Oh my goodness.
What is up with that model?
Yeah, Cannonball, this is not his episode. He's got like Mickey Mouse ears. He seems really tiny too right now. He seems like he should be like 2 feet tall the way that these buildings are arranged behind him. Okay, hold on. So his own strength isn't enough to get him unstuck, but the strength of this thing smacking him can get him unstuck.
That's what $14 million can do.
It's like after he explodes through this house, you see Cleveland. Oh no, 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 no!
Big chill.
There we go. You want a big chill.
You ready for this?
Ready for this? Flashes him.
Yeah.
He's blushing because he saw Big Chill.
Yeah. Oh no.
Couldn't have phased there, man.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Did he? He did!
I can't have much power left in the Ultimatrix.
How does power even work with that thing?
Lodestar, there we go. Hell yeah. I forgot he actually went Lodestar against it.
I like the way they do his effects.
Yeah, and I like that it looks different from Echo Echo's stuff too, because it could easily look the same. Alright, so I'm just glad that they showed that Lodestar can't magnetize him. They thought of that. That's good.
Probably like rubber or something.
What's it made of?
He's very strong too. Those are the same legs that struck Cannonball off of Gum when he couldn't, but he's still holding him back. Lodestar's pretty strong.
Yeah, Lodestar's stronger than Cannonbolt, confirmed. I love this right here. Oh, his mouth is open.
So is it just tied to his stamina or something?
That's what I've always believed, because it seems like even in times where the Ultimatrix or Omnitrix isn't ready to time out, if Ben passes out, he changes back.
Can't escape, Tennyson. You can't escape.
That is very close. And he leaves.
But you had him.
Every time I fight Tennyson, my ratings break records.
The longer you draw this out, figure out how to beat the Stalker.
The Stalker, that's what this is called. Alright.
The end of Ben 10.
He does the anime glasses.
The anime glasses.
Yes. This is from Fame.
That's why I've spent $36 million.
$36 million now.
There was no cameraman there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. How'd they get that footage, Will? This means that maybe he really was behind the Serpent attack. Like, he broke Serpent out of jail.
Serpent.
Yeah. Fucking, we see right through you, Will.
Well, no, it's a parole thing, so maybe he just paid Serpent to
Oh, true.
do that.
Yeah, he's got that money, apparently. $36 million.
Why show up on his schedule? Because I know he'll be there at 8 p.m.
On the Will Harang Nation, how dangerous Ben Tennyson is.
He's admitting to being the one who perpetrated all of this public damage right now.
Yeah, he broke like 3 houses, like however many cars. He's just as bad as Ben right now.
This is not smart.
No.
He's worse than Ben, of course.
Yeah,
but
because
this
he's
is not
doing it
smart.
maliciously.
He's the one who started it. This would not hold up in court. How does he steer that thing? There are no wings.
I know. Why did it need to come
where
crashing
did that
down
come
like this
from?
too? There's like some big ass catapult somewhere far away that just launches this thing. I love how this thing struggles a little bit too before it stands upright. Yeah, Will Harang!
America, patriotism.
This is like Mr. Electro from Spy Kids. Not
Oh
Spy
my
Kids.
God.
Fuck. Shark
Mr.
Boy and Lava Girl.
Electric.
Yeah, Mr. Electric.
Trying this, huh?
Yeah. You know, I don't think he grew when he was being scanned, so, you know, if Humongousaur just grew, he would do so much better.
He never uses Humongousaur's growing stuff.
Or going ultimate!
Or going ultimate.
Yeah!
He's just...
The anti-Humongo cannon.
That's just a flamethrower, dude.
I don't like how his face changes perspective based on the way that the stalker is facing. That shouldn't happen if it was just a screen. He fucking missed!
He should be arrested for this. Where is everybody?
Everyone abandoned their homes right now.
This was announced live on TV. Where's all the police? Where's the Capitol security?
Even Vilgax was courteous enough to create a little force field to contain the battle.
You can't use the excuse that nobody knew that this was going to happen. Where is everybody?
The president's right over here, just freaking letting all of this happen.
It was Obama at the time.
Yeah, thanks, Obama.
Now he grows.
Gotta save America.
Here's the patriotic shot.
Everybody loves to watch Ben 10.
You're goddamn right. That's right, Kevin. A bench will work.
Yep.
What
How is
was
he
that?
spinning?
He's just mad, like, Urgh.
How is he spinning? Is there a base?
No, there is not.
How
There
is
is
he
not.
spinning?
It's just because. Because fuck you, that's why. Kevin was already down! He didn't even need to!
It's me you're after, Harangue.
Go ultimate!
You scouted all my moves. Video game scan, something you've never done before.
Guess these hands!
Countermeasures for all my alien...
Not all of them.
Or way big. Hey, there we go. This is what it was all about. How did he not suck up Ben by doing that? I would have swallowed him. Another instance of vor in Ben 10. I like this interior.
What happens if I cross these?
He dies. Okay.
Bryce, we could rebuild. Police ever find out what's left of the robot?
If the police ever found, they'd probably arrest you. Also, here's way big. That would have been useful. Look at this. He's about to freaking...
Yeah, cause there's no way way big fit in that mocap studio.
Is that your car?
It was damage at the Washington Mall.
He's playing the clip of him putting the monument back up in reverse, so it looks like he's taking it down. Oh, Harangue, you crafty motherfucker.
This is sad.
Or the $170 million of my own money that I spent.
170 million.
It just keeps getting bigger.
Do you think he's really spending more and more, or he's lying?
I think he probably paid off the police with that.
Price to pay in the pursuit of freedom.
Freedom.
It shows what kind of sick, depraved...
I passed my driving test.
You don't get the license from the DMV.
Maybe she stole it. It's not even a
She
real
did a
license.
spell.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
You could pitch that video game to anybody. They'd probably pick it up now.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be like hundreds of developers competing to make a Ben 10 video game.
Just because you got your license, it's not like I'm gonna...
Oh wow, Kevin looks really weird.
Bye.
Shotgun. No way I'm sitting in the back.
And nothing was learned.
Yeah. So tell me, why'd you pick this episode to come on?
Because Nanomech shows up. That was always cool to me because of the balls line. And because it's just such a ridiculous episode.
It's got a lot of great little jokes in it, but overall it's like this is on the strangest side of Ben 10 for episodes.
Agreed.
And that's saying something.
Thank you for having me for this one. It's nice to be back.
Oh yeah. We'll have you on a few more in the future, I'm sure.
I know exactly which Omniverse episode I want.
Ooh. We'll let the fans guess. Comment below which episode you think Kellen's talking about here.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. You know something? This is one of those episodes I enjoyed a lot more recently than when I originally watched it. I feel like I was in that same general bubble that most fans were at the time this was airing, where after Alien Force Season 3, we were just yearning for the show to get back to being serious again. So even if they had fun filler episodes like this, it was hard to appreciate it because all we wanted to do was get back to the main story. But as for the episode itself, I would say this is a really solid one. I'd even say this deserves a plot of a 5. For one, the premise is pretty great. After seeing all the negatives of Ben's fame, we get to see some of the positive perks of his success. Yeah, it ended up being a diabolical scheme by Will Harangue, but the concept is still there. People want to start making a Ben 10 video game. Looking back, I'm surprised this kind of thing didn't happen in Omniverse. This definitely feels like an out there kind of Omniverse plot that UAF normally wouldn't attempt. And if it did, it wouldn't have the right type of charm or humor. But this one's a great example of how UAF can do more ridiculous episodes and pull them off with the right kind of humor while still having a solid plot. I also like how they were integrating a B story for Gwen, but it wasn't just something separate for her to do. Her story and Ben's story were intermingling throughout the entire episode, and this episode was paced very well. The idea of Will Harangue is just literally an average newscaster who is behind all of this is hilarious to me. Like, not just the robot, but the entire video game premise himself. Like, he must have come up with that, or at least agreed to it. As for the Stalker, some of the counters were very creative. Some of them were a little strange, but it made sense. There was a lot of different kind of missiles too, but it was neat to see something try to match Ben move for move. We've never really had something like that before. You can say that maybe Kevin 11 was that, but it was more of just using Ben's powers against him rather than trying to come up with something specific for each one of Ben's aliens. I'm surprised none of his top tier villains tried doing the same thing yet. I guess future Vilgax might count too, but not as intricately as the Stalker. I also like how Ben originally tried beating the Stalker by coming up with moves that he's never done before. It's gotta be tricky trickier than you think. And the setup for Nanomech being the key to defeat the Stalker was executed pretty good too. First by keying in Kevin's spitballs throughout the episode, and then having Oliver reject the opportunity to scan Nanomech because he underestimated him. I want to say that it's unbelievable for Will Harang to afford this giant orchestrated plan, and that he would have all of the supplies he would need to do so as well. But we've had so many rich tech geniuses in Ben 10, and we'll continue to have them more in the future. At this point, that's just the way the show works. Will's not any different from any of the other villains that can do this stuff. It's just funny that he's not evil, he's just a newscaster. Although, within the logic of Ben 10, it is kind of a stretch that Ben was able to use every single one of his aliens and use all of his moves in the video game scanner. But you also gotta think some counters definitely double up. Anyways, yeah, aside from a few nitpicks here and there, that doesn't really hold the episode back. This episode has a great premise, it's executed and paced very nicely, and it's humorous while also cool. The characters can get a 5 as well. The main trio seems to have the great balance that they had in the episode Fame, so it shows the writers know how to write these characters well enough for them to feel three-dimensional without needing like dangerous and emotional scenes to prove it. And Will Harang's always a treat to see too. I think it's interesting that he started getting corrupt by his own power once he started winning, and it becomes less about his vendetta against Ben and more about just boosting his rating. If there's one thing Will cares about more than hating on Ben, it's his reputation. I like the character of Oliver too. At first he was just a funny guy with a horrible accent, which would have been fine, but then you see behind the scenes a little bit and you see that he's just a product of working for Will, and even advises Will to not drag out the fight, because the longer Will waits, the more time Ben has to figure out a solution, and it turns out that Oliver was right. Even the driving instructor was a great addition to this episode with his one scene. This guy sets the stage with how to write a quirky, comedic character without annoying your audience. The visuals, I really want to keep rolling out the 5s. Every episode has weird animation, so if it was based on that alone, no episode can get a perfect 5. It only really matters when it starts taking you out of the episode or not being able to hold up the scenes they want to present. So aside from the things we pointed out in this breakdown, this episode still looks pretty great. We also get a ton of different aliens all showcasing their powers, and it's rare we get to see Ben transform in this episode as much as he did, and also have the aliens contribute to a battle. Normally if we get this many aliens, they're just cameos. And it was also cool to see the Stalker try to counter their moves. But there also was a lot of really good animation as well, especially the driving scenes. Like if you're trying to use this breakdown video to rewatch the episode, I'd say go watch the full episode anyways. It definitely deserves to be seen with all the clips that I had to cut out from YouTube still intact. There was even some great moves of Gwen and Kevin fighting against the Stalker in the end too. And I actually liked the way that Forearms was reintroduced in this episode. While it wasn't a big dramatic return, I think it's fine because Ben has so many aliens now. So it's still dramatic for us as the audience, even though the scene itself is pretty average. Like when we see Teen Ben use feedback casually for the first time in Omniverse, it's contextually significant. Although the biggest negative towards the visuals in this episode is the design of the Stalker. Now a lot of the ways the weapons would pop out and the compartments shifting about really helped with the design, but overall it's as basic as you can get. While UA and AF are technically the same art style, I feel like even in Alien Force they would have tried to make it a little bit more elaborate. But it still looked great in animation and had a lot of neat weapons that I can excuse the poor design. It just would have been better if it was something more than just a red circle with legs. Although importance, this episode takes the biggest hit. It's gonna get a 0. This episode doesn't bring the plot forward any further. And while, yeah, there are people that talk about this episode in the fandom, at some point, every single episode of Ben 10 gets talked about in the fandom somewhere. So it has to be able to impact the fandom significantly, and this one really doesn't. This episode doesn't really come up that much anymore, and even if it does, it doesn't do anything to change the lore of Ben 10 or anyone's perspective and opinions on the series. And there's plenty of other episodes to help flesh out Will Harang as well. So in the grand scheme of the show, no, I can't really give this episode any points in importance, despite how well it's been executed. But entertainment can shoot right back up to a 5. Again, just seeing all the aliens in this episode and seeing them try to counter the bot was awesome. And surprisingly, the plotline of Gwen learning to get her license isn't that dull and doesn't take you out of the pacing of the story. So that's gonna leave video games at a 20 out of 25. It's nice to finally have a good score, but so far, only 2 out of the current 4 episodes of UA we've broken down has been something positive. So in the next breakdown, let's see where episode 5 leads us. So as promised, here's what I would do for a Ben 10 video game. So my dream Ben 10 game would be an MMO RPG type game. It just makes sense for the world of Ben 10 and the modern community of gaming. Most games only stay relevant with online communities now, and with a franchise like Ben 10, it's best explored with friends. But first, you'd have to play through the campaign in order to unlock online mode. The first thing you would do is create your own original character that would use an Omnitrix. Each campaign would be its own universe, a universe where your character found the Omnitrix instead of Ben. I do this because playing as Ben Prime would involve having to tie everything to the canon, and I think players would have much more fun playing the game as their own character that can turn into aliens, and we've already had a handful of games where you play as Ben already. Technically, you can create a Ben, but you don't have to. For now, your Omnitrix will always look like the default classic one, but you can at least change the primary and secondary colors. Then you start out with 10 aliens. The 10 aliens you receive would be randomized, and cannot be reshuffled without creating a new character. However, each alien will have categories about their class, powers, and versatility, and there will be algorithms in place to ensure every randomized playlist still has a balanced result. However, aliens like Waybig, Clockwork, and Alien X will not be available, and aliens like Atomics and Gravitac will have a very low chance of being randomized. While the story of the game can be anything from fighting Vilgax, malware, or something totally new, it doesn't really matter. Mechanically, your goal of the campaign is to master your Omnitrix, which you do by learning new perks and unlocking new aliens. You gain new aliens in many different ways. The easiest way is by leveling up. Like the show, sometimes you'll just unlock a new alien at random, but in this game you will only be able to equip 10 aliens at a time, similar to how Cosmic Destruction only allows you to equip 4 at a time. Another is to use codes, which you can purchase from Azimuth's workshop. One of your currencies in the game would be a special mineral that Azimuth needs to create inventions, and that would be your bargaining chip to exchange to Azimuth for transformation codes. You enter the codes through the Omnitrix in a game menu. You'll have access to the menu at all times, so technically if you really wanted to, you can just try entering random codes and see if you unlock an alien by chance. But it'll be extremely rare, and if you mess with your Omnitrix too much, it'll glitch out for a while, but we'll get to that. The third way to unlock aliens is when you upgrade your Omnitrix enough to unlock scanning mode. Then you can walk up to any alien you don't have unlocked yet, whether it be an NPC or an enemy, and scan them to unlock their form. Scanning an alien resets your XP bar, so when your XP bar is full, you can either scan an alien or level up. And leveling up is the only way to upgrade your Omnitrix, make your transformation stronger, and unlock new transformation skills. But back to upgrading your Omnitrix, you'll need to do so to gain more features like staying an alien for longer amounts of time, getting new perks like the DNA scanner, the communicator, the GPS tracker, and other fun secrets, or to repair it when it's glitching. I think it'd be fun to experiment with a game that actually makes the Omnitrix glitch out. So instead of nerfing the controls like most Ben 10 games do, your time as an alien is based on literal minutes, not Omni energy. Your Omnitrix will glitch either with excessive use or just randomly. These glitches include longer recharge time, getting a wrong alien, or creating a feedback blast that hurts enemies, but also yourself. The more you repair your Omnitrix, the lower percentage any of these things will happen. You have to beat the campaign to unlock the multiverse, which is online mode. Having online mode be the multiverse allows there to be a reason for hundreds of characters running around with their own Omnitrix, because they each come from their own universe, rather than one universe somehow housing hundreds of Omnitrices. Also, when you beat the game, you unlock Master Control, which allows you to switch between aliens without going back to human, and you can stay an alien for an infinite amount of time. But to keep things fair, you'll still only be able to equip 10 aliens at a time, and unlock transformations that you currently don't have. Master Control does not give you every transformation in the game at once. The story mode for online mode would be the time war mentioned in Omniverse that we didn't get to see.
The Chronosapiens have gone rogue. This time war is getting out of hand, and Maltruant's temporal beasts are on a cross-dimensional rampage.
You'll be traveling to different universes with your guild to fight off rogue Chronosapiens and reset realities back to their natural form. Once your guild defeats 50 Chronosapiens, which should take an insanely long time, you'll be able to fight Maltruant. Although, once you defeat him, he will reset his time loop so other future players can defeat him too, as there technically can never be an actual end to online gameplay. Online mode plays about the same, except you'll have guilds, hundreds of new unlockables, vehicles, and plumber gadgets. And yes, you'll be able to scan your friends' aliens to unlock aliens that you don't already have. And like one of my favorite games, Ultimate Alliance, you'll be able to do combo attacks with your teammates. Once you reach reach the highest level, you'll be greeted by Professor Paradox for a one-time trip to the Forge of Creation. You'll be deemed a notable hero of the multiverse and one worthy of the power of Alien X. From there, you'll have the choice to either become a Celestial Sapien but lose access to your Omnitrix, or turn down the power and continue your life as a Trix user. If you become a Celestial Sapien, you can still play the game regularly, but you will always be a Celestial Sapien. They'll have a diverse enough power set to handle any situation, and they'll be able to interact with maps in fun ways only Celestial Sapiens can, unlocking many secrets throughout the game. But for balance reasons, you won't be so OP where the game stops being fun and there's no longer a challenge in combat. You will also be able to return to the Forge whenever you want, as a special hub for players who made this choice. If you remain a Trix user, you'll continue to play the game as normal, and since it's an online game, there will always be updates with new maps and new aliens to unlock, so the gameplay shouldn't go stale. That's about the gist of it. I'm sure there's infinite ways to either expand or fine-tune this idea, but this is just my basic premise. Let me know what you think about my game in the comments below. So I only got some quick final thoughts right now. 89% of people voted that they'd rather see Ben practice with Echo Echo's duplication trick from the episode Duped. Although many comments expressed it's just out of the frustration that they introduced the concept in the first place, so they might as well go through with it. But yeah, if they were only gonna do this one time, they probably shouldn't have done this to begin with. As for this week's poll, the Andromeda 5's main episode is coming up next, Escape from Agrigor, so I'd like to ask y'all, what is your favorite Andromeda 5 alien? Let me know in the community tab when this video goes live. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And as always, keep it fizzy.
Baby, 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 got your license to drive. Got your license to drive me.